So I'm grateful for my husband. I had the best husband.
The lovely, the wonderful Jennifer Aydin.
Hello.
Happy Real Housewives of New Jersey Day.
New day.
I
Yay.
know. You have so many seasons under your belt. Did you feel like, I feel more steady, more, confident in anything that I'm going to say and not afraid of what anybody else is going to come back at me with?
100%, 100%. Especially because, last season was so difficult for me. And I felt like, instead of trying to hide all of my pain and despair or figuring out how I was going to hide all my pain and despair, I just decided to say, F it and let it all hang out. I signed up to do a reality show. This is raw and real, and a lot of couples deal with this type of thing. I'm not going to be one of those housewives that are going to deny it and pretend that everything is hunky dory. No, we are a real family. We are a real couple, married 20 years, and we have ups and downs just like any marriage. The difference is that Bill and I are committed to the commitment. And that's why we always are working at it. We're both very selfless people and we do whatever we need to do for the best of our family. And ultimately, that makes us happy.
Right.
It makes us
Totally.
happy seeing our children happy. Listen, being candid and completely honest when the cameras are rolling is not an easy thing to do, but I live my life that way. Like,
Right.
if you didn't know me and we met, like, I'm very friendly, I'm very personable. Sometimes I talk too much, it's like my greatest quality as much as it is my worst quality. So I don't change for the cameras. The way that I am off camera is the way that I am on, and vice versa. But it's very hard to ask people to be that way. It's very hard because
Yeah.
ultimately I don't have an ego. So I don't care what people think about me. I don't care what people say about me because I just think, you know what? That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. I respect it, but I'll tell you like firmly, I don't agree with it. And, the only opinion that really matters to me is my own. So
Right.
that's why I'm able to share so much because I know at the core, like what's true in my heart. So, like, you're not going to tell me how it is. I think I struggle with some of the people on this cast that they like to portray a false narrative without
Right.
ever looking in the mirror and saying, what part did I have in all this?
Mm.
It can't all just be me. So I'm just
Right.
very into accountability. And I feel like when people are able to own their real then it's the easiest way to move forward. It's when people are not authentic to owning their where there's always going to be friction moving forward because somebody's going to feel some kind of resentment that they are not getting, the ownership that they need.
I was actually talking to Jackie a couple days ago, and I said to her, I go, it's really interesting. You and Jennifer came in at the same time, and you kind of, you've had your tiffs, you kind of are on opposite sides. But she says something interesting. She goes, I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for Jennifer. And she says despite you guys kind of being having your things and kind of being on polar opposite sides, she said, I do think that there's always a way forward for us. And I thought
Yeah.
it was really interesting because, you guys have really, you've seen to make headway and then something comes up and yeah, you don't really have the same friends, but how do you feel the same way?
Well, listen, I mean, even I think Jackie will acknowledge the fact that when we both joined the show at the same time, I actually wanted to be friends with her. I told her, me and you should be friends. Like
Yeah.
we should stick together. Like we got this. Like we're the newbies.
Yeah.
And I mean, I saw how the first season went down. And then I was, reading an excerpt in the Diamonds and Rose book, which we were all interviewed for and told to be extremely candid.
Right.
When I read her excerpt, it was basically something to the effect of I never liked Jennifer from Aydin from day one. Um, she told me and you should be friends, but as if I'd ever be friends with her, something to that extent.
Yeah.
When I read that, I was like, oh my God, like I did ask her to be friends. Like I told her we should have been friends. So if there's any bridge that's burned between us, it came from her, which
Right.
is unfortunate because I think just like you know, coming in together, we should be friends, we should be allies. Just like with all of these girls who came in the new show, I'm always about being friends first
Right.
until you screw me over.
Right.
I would never say to somebody like, oh my God, like as if I'd ever be friends with you. Like to me, that's a very snobbish thing to say. You know, I have a very loving husband who
I love
supports me.
Bill. Oh
I
my
mean,
God. The last time I saw you, he was one of my first interviews at BravoCon, and I was blown away. First of all, by how handsome he is in real life, like
thank
up
you.
close,
Yes.
and also just how he's so charming.
I mean, he's a gentleman in
Oh,
every sense of the word. He is
God.
respectful and he supports me. He supports me on this journey. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but he's definitely out of his comfort zone when we're filming sometimes. It's not something, I mean, he's a professional. He's a
Right.
doctor. He's a math guy. He listens to the news. He knows what's going on in the world, you know, and then he comes and supports me with my crazy antics and, you know, holds my hair for me when I'm throwing up. I mean, this is the type of guy that you want to be with. So,
Right.
yeah, everybody makes mistakes, but
Mm,
doesn't mean just because they did a bad thing doesn't make them a bad person.
right. Of course.
So, and I feel lucky that I have him. I feel lucky that I'm married to the same man for 20 years, that he's the father of all of my 5 children. Like, I'm so grateful for that and grateful that he's supporting me on this journey where I've decided to air all of our dirty laundry. You know, this is not something that he wanted. And he was very uncomfortable when I decided to share a storyline ultimately that didn't have to do with me. It was
Right.
his story. And he was highly embarrassed and he still showed up and he took one for the team that is Aydin.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm grateful for my husband. I had the best husband. Sorry. So like when people are saying like, "Oh, you know, you're not happy in your marriage." Like what's not to be happy about? And it's not about the material things. It is about acknowledging what the fact of the matter is. Roof over my head, taking care of our children, giving us a beautiful life. Like we need to focus on the positive. It's not
And
about the money,
and just
but
as a
money is a factor and you can't deny that. He works hard. And with that working hard comes a huge sacrifice to our family. And that's why I take on the role of being both parents, which sometimes we struggle with that because when things don't go his way, then I get blamed, which
right.
is a lot of the struggle that we actually, you're going to see us go through this season on how we navigate our marriage. And
Mm,
listen, at the end of the day, Bill knows, I mean, he spent 20 years with me. I don't drink that much. I only drink when I plan on getting drunk. Okay. And I don't always plan to get drunk, but if I'm planning to get drunk, you better bet your ass we want some shots of tequila. And Bill loves it when I drink tequila. Like he gets annoyed sometimes when we go out to dinner and I don't drink. Cause like my preferred drink is really like water with ice. I love water with ice.
okay, well, all I'm
Oh,
saying is we need another Bill and Jen drunky the
oh,
skunk.
you're gonna see it, honey. Oh, it's
Okay,
coming.
good,
It's
good.
coming. It's
Because you
coming. I'm
guys
not gonna give any teasers, but it's definitely coming.
because you guys at the party last season was one of my favorite moments ever. You guys are so funny. Like
Which
you're
party?
hilarious. Yeah, the
Which,
one where Bill was like carried out and then you were thrown up in the car.
oh, that was the summer kickoff party when I got drunk.
Oh, the best. The
Well, I don't know if you saw in the trailer, like Bill was crawling on Melissa Gorga's deck, and I'll just leave it there. You're gonna have to tune in.